You ever have to deal with scammers? They're fucking annoying. Disgusting ass third worlders always trying to scam you out of your valuable lines of code that technically aren't even yours in the first place. It's fucking egregious. And it's always the same bullshit. The same copy and paste crap. The same old, oh, hey, can you check your item's history to make sure it's clean? Shit. The same old, can you vote for my comp team and I'll give you some keys? Shit. The same old, oh, I'm collecting cases and sprays and I can give you my super elite knife. Shit. The same old, hey, it's your internet friend. Can I borrow your items, please, to impress these random silvers? Shit. The same old, include a bunch of tiny low-value items and throw in your $7,000 skin in the mix for my AK cartel shit. It's all a fucking joke, and an old one at that. So today, I'm gonna show you how to actually scam someone on Steam. Now, the one advantage these scammers have with their tried and true methods is that it's super easy to copy and paste them, and they will always catch a retard in their net. Sure, your fishing gear is obsolete and broken, but as long as you can snag that one fish, you can eat that night. And since a lot of people are retarded, they can get caught with their pants down. These scamming strats have that one advantage is that they are super easy to just spread it out to the largest possible pool of people. Like a slide thread, this shit is very easy to ignore and report, but if you're caught at a very bad time, they can get you. While this may be great for the average street shitter who watches videos on YouTube and thinks every American drives a Lamborghini and lives in a McMansion, this isn't what we're going to cover. Oh no. We are going for the big catch. The people who live to trade shit on Steam. The ones with thousands upon thousands of good boy pixels in their accounts. TF2 unusuals, rare glitch shit, super expensive CSGO skins, all that crap. Now, this isn't going to be a clean sweep. It's highly unlikely you'll be able to con any of these high-tier traders out of their whole inventory. Oh no. We are going to look for one or two specific things. Now, how do we pick the proper target? You have to look for people who are open to trading. People who have high-ticket items but aren't interested in trading will be very hard to convince to open up. Not impossible, mind you, but really hard. But the ones that want to trade are not only more likely to be open to trading, but negotiating and being influenced with words. This can be people either who advertise their items on third-party sites, this can be people on the trading tab of CSGO, hell, this could be someone on your friends list or even the friends list of another friend. But the key is you want to find someone who is open to negotiation and is open enough to actually talk to you. Don't bother with those shithead traders who are just total fags, who they only want a specific amount of skins and keys and they do not budge at all. These people should kill themselves, and I hope they do it in a violent way. Now that you've found your possible victim, you want to be very open and nice to them. Do not follow any copy and paste methods. Do not try to use scamming links, IP grabbers, or account hijackers, at least right off the bat. This will give away your position quickly, just lead to a report and a block. Instead, come off as very friendly and workable. I know for a lot of people who play video games, this is hard to do. The ability to be very outspoken, social, and extroverted is kryptonite to the average tard, such as you watching this. But you need to do this if you want the great payoff of a multi-$1,000 skin. People who are comfortable and friendly with others will have their guard down, and this is what you're going to use and abuse. This process can take a bit. All these methods and every little trick that you can use, it's going to take a little bit of time. Depending on your victim, how social and charismatic you are, how patient you are, and a whole host of other little things I can't account for in this video, this can take a few days or even a few weeks. You'll have to be very friendly and open with this person. Crack jokes when appropriate, say things that these people would like, and all in all, just try not to be a cookie-cutter scammer where they can smell it a mile and a half away. You want to seem trustworthy and reputable as a trader. Hell, if you really want to, you can fake a friendship with this person. Get to know them over the course of a few weeks or even months, and play games with them. Get as much information on this person as possible. See if they're a very shy person, if they have any weaknesses that you can exploit, like a charitable nature, or things you can use to help convince them to give away their skins later on. Even the smallest details can be used to help persuade a person to really hand over their fancy skins. Some tips I would have when trying to earn the trust of your potential victim would be very friendly. I keep saying that over and over because I want that point to be hammered in. Be very open to negotiation, and slowly but surely see how they react. If they are rather friendly themselves, you could use that to get your scamming desires pushed. Also, try not to be as robotic as shit. Don't say the typical stuff scammers say and do. Don't use broken English. Don't seem too interested at first in their items. In negotiation, you'll learn that whoever can walk away from the trade with less to lose has the advantage. So try not to seem that interested in their items. You're interested obviously to the point where you're going to try to scam someone, but don't blow your cover. Work the situation and gradually poke and prod. Now, you finally have a possible victim, and you become friendly with them, and they're not on awful terms with you. Now what? Now you're going for the kill. Now to determine when the right time to do this is, you're going to have to use your best judgment based on the situation. If you want to try and scam someone in a day or less, you could try to offer some third-party payment, like PayPal, Steam cards, etc. Steam cards are really hard to sell these days though because Valve properly warns against doing that. So PayPal and other services that offer cash would probably be best. You should also try to have some sort of quote-unquote reputation built. Either have friends or other scammers give you comment section plus rep comments and other appraisals. Display the amount of trades you have done. Showcase possibly nice skins you have. They don't have to be Dragon Lords and M4 Howls, but a few skins worth $50 or so does help. Try to seem as genuine as possible in both attitude and appearance. Remember, you want to deceive your victim to where they willingly hand over the skins. Another way to possibly scam would be to ask out of the blue one day if you could borrow the skin for a week or so. This method relies mostly on getting familiar with your victim and getting to know them. If they seem like a genuinely nice person, maybe you can ask out of the blue if they could be a great pal and loan the skins to you. Maybe even give them a supposed sentimental item as collateral. Maybe a $20 skin with a fairly expensive sticker on it, saying it's a skin you would just hate to lose. So you could use that as fake collateral. Maybe you say you want to seem cool with other random ass silvers and make a joke about it. Jokingly say that you want to fake flex, as the black youth would say. You could also say you maybe want to get a skin like they have and that you'd like to know if you'd actually like to have it and it's just not something you're going to trade away for a couple weeks after or down the line, like most people do with skins. Work the situation and be as flexible and trustworthy as possible. If they suspect you're scamming them at all, you could always twist and say, nah, I'm just teasing, I'm just goofing with you. Or you could spin it with some fake-ass test saying that you passed it. Laugh about it and have fun with it if they call you out, and don't turn it into a situation. You have the advantage of reacting and spinning and deflecting. Make it work. Be original and witty with any possible criticism or resistance. Depending on the skin, you should either keep poking and prodding your victim. If this is a really expensive skin, it's almost always worth it to play the long con. However, if this is like a $20 to $100 skin or something, and if you don't plan on trying to go down the fake money route and shoot your shot within a day, it might be best to try and move on to a new victim. If the juice isn't worth the squeeze, don't do it. Not only do you open yourself up to getting trade banned, but you're also just wasting time. The more nets you cast, the better the odds. However, make sure your nets are of a great quality. We are an elevated level of douchebag scamming here. If you manage to con your way to a nice knife or skin, congratulations, you finally got what you wanted. After you get this skin, it's best to either sell it as soon as you can, or make sure your victim cannot contact you. Block them and sever as many ties as you can. Of course, the history will forever be logged on Steam with the trading inventory shit, but I don't know if that many people know about this, and if you're doing this for merely profit, you need to muddy the paper trail as best as you can. Sell it ASAP. Or you can trade with other scamming accounts you have to dirty the history of the item. Do whatever you can to get that hot item out of your inventory. If you want to keep the item for an extended period of time though, it's best to try and not scam as many people at once. It would be best to grab one nice item from one victim and lay low for a period of time. A few weeks at the minimum with that account. This is where having multiple accounts come in handy. You can cast so many traps and nets to a whole host of people. In fact, if you have a rather large amount of these accounts, this can be your job. Scamming people online from their hard-earned items. How fulfilling is that? Now, once you got your payment and or the items that you want, now it's time to do the last thing you should have done from the start. Killing yourself. I recommend using a shotgun, preferably buckshot, and inserting the barrel into the back of your mouth and pulling the trigger. Because you are a filthy fucking scammer who makes an illegitimate and immoral income. You are genuinely fucking trash, and you do nothing but parasite off of people. If you have ever scammed someone, go kill yourself. You are only useful dead, because at that point, you're just going to be fertilizing plants with your corpse. Why did I make this? If I am so anti-scamming, why did I just give tips and tricks on how to properly scam? Simple. Know your enemy. You need to know how the enemy always operates. This applies to all types of situations in life, whether this is a scammer, a shitty and cruel boss, your parents, some shithead college professor, someone on the street who wants to fist fight you, the government, or any other person who is against you and what you want. You need to know how that enemy functions and how you can best maneuver the situation to get what you want. In the case of scammers, you need to know how these people function, and I had an eye-opening experience with a scammer myself recently. Now, I have never been scammed on Steam, but I've had a couple close calls. One was years ago with the bullshit, I gotta make sure your item isn't a dupe scam, and one was recent. This person added me and sent me a couple screenshots saying that they were interested in a couple mid to high tier CSGO items I have. And I was taken aback because this person was understanding and was trying to work with me. Now, they weren't an English speaker, and that was the first thing off of this person, but they said they could give me about $1,200 for both items, which seemed rather odd in retrospect, especially with the real US dollars not backed by a gold standard. But this person didn't have anything too out of place, at least initially. They did haggle with the price, and they were a little kind of resistant with my pushing and trying to get a better price. That is until I started to poke and prod properly. A private inventory, a locked comment section, Steam friends were hidden, and very other tiny small things that always add up. After a bit of questioning, they started to get a little uncomfortable, and they would just always, I mean always, have an excuse on why they couldn't do X, Y, and Z. And not only that, but they wanted me to get a PayPal account. And I don't know how that shit works, especially with third party transactions. So, after sending this person's account to a couple acquaintances, they said it was a scam. But I just wanted to be completely sure. I needed that closure. So, they sent me their ID, which was someone from Alabama. Despite their English being utter shit for a Maramut, and their Steam profile said that they were from Singapore. So, I offered an ultimatum. I told them to write something very specific and hold it up to their face with a date. I wanted a timestamp. However, they always just kept saying how busy they were at the moment. This was never gonna happen. So, after all that bullshit, I blocked them. And I hope this third world or shit stain dies a brutal death. Maybe cholera. That's a common way for people to die in the third world. In retrospect, though, I probably would not have traded with this person. I'm not saying this because I'm investing in copium over the scenario. My plan to trade is when I'm good and ready with these items overall. And I don't know how the fuck third party transactions work with Steam items. So when I'm actually good and ready, I'll trade. But this rare, not completely fucking retarded scammer really opened my eyes. These less than humans are becoming better at scamming, and you need to be aware of them. And in this case, on me telling you how to be a better scammer on Steam, I'm showing you how these shitheads are transitioning into being better scammers. You need to know how these things operate, and you need to know how they're going to get better and better at scamming. You need to learn and adapt to how these pieces of shit are trying to scam more efficiently. You need to understand how the beast works. If you understand how an animal is going to react, its strengths and its weaknesses, you can mitigate and even avoid possible problems down the line. Do I think scammers are actually going to be better scammers with my info? Because you may say that I'm helping passing info on to others and thus inspiring or helping scammers scam better. I would disagree with that though. Scammers are pieces of shit who are always going to do what they do no matter what. They already have their methods and their ways to help scam people from their hard earned items. And that is almost always going to be the copy and paste methods of just sending shit to your scam links and messages to as many people as possible. Most scammers will just try to hook as many people because that's the most efficient way to scam. If it didn't work, they still wouldn't be doing what they do now. I'm trying to display to you the mindset and mentality that the more dangerous scammers trying to do. The 1% of scammers out there that are playing the long con. The ones that actually are trying to prod and poke and seem trustworthy to the average person. You need to know how these pieces of shit tick. Think of it like this. If you know how robberies take place and how most robbers get what they want, the mentalities and methods they use, you can help prevent them in the first place. Locking your windows and doors, having your lights on, having your guard kept up is the best way to not get robbed of your possessions. The same applies with Steam items. If you know how these quote unquote people function and operate, you can take the steps necessary to keep your fancy CSGO skins and funny TF2 hats. Knowledge is just as, if not more important than any weapon you have. That knowledge is understanding how scammers work and the weapons are blocking and reporting. Have a strong password. Don't click on anything that you don't think is trustworthy. Don't ever try to trade items under any circumstances if it's not a fair trade. Don't fall for third party shit. Don't fall for Steam promotion codes. Don't fall for games. Don't fall for anything that they're trying to sell you. I don't even trust entirely third party sites that allegedly have thousands of people using it with genuine reps. I'd be very cautious of that. I still am very cautious of that. And that caution may seem like paranoia, but it's usually the paranoid ones that actually have their items at the end of the day. And I am dead serious about my message to scammers, though. Scamming is highly immoral and wrong. To take from people is morally wrong and illegal. If you didn't earn it or you didn't pay for it, it's stealing. Scammers deserve to be dragged out back and shot. If you are a scammer, do us all a favor and fucking die. I'm not gonna try and convince you to be a better person, because you're already fucked up enough to justify why you do it. You are either going to get your comeuppance one day, or you're going to have a come to God moment and realize that what you're doing is wrong and stop. And hopefully, try to repay for the things you've done. Either way is fine with me. I have my preference, but it's not my job to stop you from being a total fucking piece of shit.